Yeah, so today I just kind of wanted to quickly go over like what is a three-lane map from Call of Duty's perspective, at least in my opinion of what a three-lane map should be. And I think a great example of a game to look at is Black Ops 2. So I just created a custom
Capture the
game here,
objectives.
and I'm currently on Raid, one of my favorite maps actually from back in the day.
Hardpoint identified.
And I think if we go ahead and just hit the, I wish there was a way to look at the map. Yeah. So as you can see, when we say three lanes in Call of Duty, at least as an old head who
Hostiles have
really
captured the
means three
hardpoint.
lanes when they say three lanes, you can see very, very clearly there are three lanes. There's the middle, there's the side, and then there's the other side. It's that simple. Like, if I am in this spot over here, and it's also in quadrants as well, it seems like. But anyways, if I'm like back here in the spawn, there's no way that I'm going to be dying to anybody that's over here. I'm not going to be dying to anybody that's over here. The only potential where I could be dying to somebody is right here from this midsection if I walk up past like the spawn threshold. And the same goes for anything. Like wherever you are on this map, you are always going to be in a safe zone where you're not going to be getting like laser beamed by multiple angles, if that makes sense. I mean, even if we like look at this, right? Like I'm in the spawn right now. We see that there's no way that I would be dying here. This is my spawn. The only way somebody would be able to kill me here on spawn, you know, is if they came around the corner and they were like invading our spawn, so to speak. But that's likely not going to happen on average. Sure, there could be a guy flanking.
Hostiles have captured the
Now,
hardpoint.
if I was to walk up here to the middle, like, where am I going to die here? There's nowhere I'm going to die. My back is turned, so I know my teammates are spawning here. Like, I would most likely assume that my team has control of this zone. So the only place I can die is in front of me up here, right? I have some bots spawned in the game. But the only place you can die, right, is from this area right here. I'm not going to be dying to people over there on the right, and I'm not going to be dying to people over here on the left. Granted, there is some flanking that can go on because this door here, if it's not covered, somebody could flank. If somebody's not covering the back spawn, somebody could flank. That is also very, very true. But it, like, you would most likely be seeing it on the UAV. So it just feels like in Black Ops 2, in Call of Duty 4, and these older CODs, there's like always counterplay and expected gunfights. Like I would know as soon as I pop around this corner, yeah, there's probably going to be a dude over there across the map. That's like the only place where I would potentially die from. Also over here, and then in the objective. So it's very limited. My field of view of where I can die from is like very, very limited. But I feel like in a lot of the modern CODs, it's like you spawn into the map
Hostiles have captured the hardpoint.
and it's just complete chaos. So I mean, if we go ahead and look at it from like another standpoint, like let's go over here to the side. And you'll notice that there's always like positions and counter positions, right? So if I'm on this side, let me run around here to the top, or I'll go to this spawn as well. So you would spawn back here. It's a general safe zone. Like you're not going to die here. Sure, once again, every once in a while you'll have somebody that like is flanking the spawn. That's very, very possible. But you would know it's like incremental. Like as soon as you spawn in, okay, if the enemy is pushed up in bulk, you know that they're going to be in there. So you can at least challenge the gunfight, and it's an expected gunfight. But let's pretend they're not in there. Let's pretend they're pushed up a little bit more. You know you have some safety here. And then now, as you're about to round this corner, you're going to know that, okay, once I round this corner, I'm in the danger zone. Because there could be a guy in this counter spot over here. Because once again, that's another good thing about Black Ops 2. There's always spots and counter spots where I'm going to round this corner. There could be a guy up there already on their side of the map in their vantage point. There could also be a guy over there on this head glitch. And then finally, there could be a guy pushed up right here, kind of like that, funny enough. To where he could be head glitching right here. But I'm never going to be just like back here and then dying randomly for the most part. It's always going to be an expected gunfight around this corner. And that's... this guy's shooting at me. 1 second. Gotta finish off the bots, you know? Okay, so like...
Guardian ready for deployment.
I lost my train of thought. So yeah, you're just never going to die because you're always going to be holding an angle and you're going to expect where the enemy's going to come. And if we were to conclude... and we're going to go back to the other side of the map here. Like, the only time you would ever feel threatened is if you're being, like, a degenerate gamer and you're running here in the middle of the map. Like, of course you're going to potentially die here. Same thing goes over here, right? If you're over here, and you're in the middle of the map, then there's so many angles where you can die from. It's because you're on the objective. Like, this is where the objective usually spawns for a hard point, which makes sense. And then same thing over there. But there's always the, like, counterplay or, like, the fluidity of you don't have to run out into the middle of the map if you're not an OBJ player. Like, if you're an anchor and you're holding an AR or you're holding a sniper, you can come here, yeah, and then, you know, peek these corners and then win gunfights, right? So it's a very expected, like, flow. And then even if you're on the, if you're on the objective, right? Let's say let's say I know that my spawn is back here, and then the objective is right here. I have so many opportunities to head glitch because and then get cover, and I know that the enemies are going to either come from there, they're going to come from there, they're going to come from there, or they're going to come from here. Right, so it's a lot to take in, but it's very predictable, and you can hold angles very, very well. So if you see on your map that there's a lot of dudes spawning like over here in this back right corner, you can hold a head glitch and then hold down this area pretty well. But there's still counterplay because somebody could flank you from over here, but it's not like so overwhelming. Like nobody's gonna kill me from my right side, and nobody's gonna kill me from my back side, assuming you're keeping track of the spawns and where your teammates are spawning and where the enemies are spawning, right? So I think Raid is just such a good example. I mean, if we go into another map, see, I'll load up another one. I think the games that excel in these types of maps are Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 2. I would say, yeah, probably Black Ops 1 a little bit. I have to go back and check those maps because those ones were a little bit more open. But I'd say the prime candidates for showing off truly 3-lane maps are Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty 4. Now let's just go into like another map here. Let's go into... I mean, we get so many good ones, dude. Plaza, Slums, Standoff. Oh, let's go to Standoff. All right, let's just observe the same kind of thing here. I'm gonna remove the bots so I can not have to deal with those. Or maybe it didn't remove them. I don't know. We'll see. But it's gonna be the same thing. We'll notice here. It's the same principles of map design, right? Like you've got a back spawn area, which you know you're not. Like I'm in the back spawn. The enemy would be in this back spawn over here, and then you see there's 3 lanes. You go this way, you can go mid, or you can go far right. Right? So I'm not gonna ever die here as I'm in my spawn. If I run up and the enemy's pushed up in mid, okay, I know there's 2 spots that I'm gonna die from. It's gonna be around here, where somebody's either head glitching at that vantage point, they're around here, they're coming around the corner, or they're here. There's 3 spots that I have to account for. And that's the thing that's great about Black Ops 2, in my opinion, is like it's a constant shift of like, okay, as long as you know the spawn points and you know the angles and you know where the like head glitch spots are, you can get to a spot and then hold it down. So if I'm here, I know most likely I'm not gonna die from my backside, okay, unless somebody's once again flanking. But if I'm like using my teammate as like a spawn, like if I know my team is spawning here, then I can pretty safely assume I'm not gonna get shot in the back unless there's a guy running like, I don't know, like UAV jammer or something. I'd be able to hold this angle. You can see it's all the way on the left, right? So you can always play these flanking routes and rotate. Same thing here, right? You come around the corner here. You know that, okay, there's a potential somebody could come from there, potential from here, and maybe a potential from here. It's just like, these maps are just so well balanced, in my opinion. And if we go to, it's like the only time you're ever going to be kind of like in a hot zone, if that makes sense, to where you would be getting shot from all different angles, is literally if you're just playing the objective. But that's expected. It's like if you're on the objective, then yeah, of course you're going to be more at risk for having a lot of people coming at a lot of different angles. So if I start in this spawn, let's pretend, and we go out here, right? I'm going this right flank. I could have chose to go that left flank, but if my team is spawning here, I'm not going to die from over here. Like given the circumstance. So as soon as I push up here, I know for a fact, like where can I die from, right? It's like, or I wouldn't be here. I'd probably be more like here, right? Where can I die from? It would be right here if somebody comes around the corner, right here, or over here. So it's like 3 to 4 spots that you have to account for. And you can very confidently know, like if you see a lot of people spawning on the, like on your map on the UAV, if you see a lot of dots over there, it's pretty safe to assume, okay, like there's a 90% risk I'm going to die from over here and maybe a 10% risk over here. Or maybe you have a teammate that's pushed up right here and he's holding this angle. So you don't have to worry about this because you can just know that either he's going to hold it down or he's going to die, and then you're going to definitely know that somebody's coming from over here. So it's all about like, you know, holding the angle, getting a kill, moving up, going to the next head glitch. Okay, now you're here. Where can I die from, right? Like you could have a guy up here, coming around this corner, here, and then yes, here, because this is like arguably a dangerous spot to be in, actually. And it's like the same thing if you're flanking over here on the right. You're going into the enemy spawn now, potentially. Let's say you do get this point. Like you don't, like you know that they're not going to get you from the back. It's going to be like, these areas are the areas that they could kill you from, and it always feels like it's a fair fight because like it's an expected engagement. It's not like you're just like spawning in, running out this way, and then you're getting like shot in the back here, if that makes sense. So that's just like my little take. I don't know. I'm gonna be beating a dead horse here, but Black Ops 2, once again, if you just check these maps, it's always very 3-lane. It's middle, left, right, like on all the good maps at least, like Slums, Raid, Plaza. What else was there? I'm trying to remember. Oh, Hijacked. Like COD 4, it's the same thing. Like Crash, Backlot, Crossfire, like all of the good maps have the same fundamental principle. And I think when Call of Duty strays away from that, it makes the game just like too chaotic and just not fun in my opinion. Anyways, guys, I'm kind of rambling and beating a dead horse here, but I just wanted to kind of give my insights.
Stand down. It's a
So
draw.
yeah, see you in the next one.